So I'm not like that old. I'm in my adulthood, and I feel like so often we have to ask ourselves, what's the right decision? And with some recent events, I started realizing that there kind of are signs to this. That there are things to look for to know when one thing is the right decision. And I guess, and welcome back to Fractured Thinking. I'll be your host, Mark mobkinz78. We're playing hurdling today. I just started it. If there's narrative, I'll cut it out. I'm hoping that, I can kind of go on autopilot while I run around and I guess herd sheep. That's my goal. I mean, look at this boy. Look at this. This is a beautiful environment setup, by the way. Love that. This is pretty terrifying, but here we are. I imagine the game's going to start telling me things. But the last... Man, I feel like I've said this in the last couple of Fractured Thinkings, but the last year, I guess it's been a year now, has been very formative for me. And, I apologize for the sound cutting in and out. We're recording on the PC for the first time in, years, and I'm scared. If you're listening, by the way, there's a big sheep walking around, and I'm looking where to go. Now, I guess to give context to... great podcast, Mark. Really working. Conspicuous line of trash blocking my way. I have had these different moments, and I have been digging into myself, my identity, my needs, who I am. Right? From being at a job that didn't let me do what I wanted to do, which led me to be really burned out kind of while I was there, was kind of the catalyst for a lot of things. And I still don't think I'm, shall we say, healed, cured from the burnout. It's cute and scary at the same time. But what I will say is that I have learned so much about myself, kind of recovering these things. Because, what does burnout come from? Blah, blah, blah. This video is not about burnout. We can enter a name. We can name... All right, we're going with Decicero because that's what this episode's about. Decision? I don't know. Despero. But it's... The learning about myself has led to me wondering, what do I want? There was this thing I saw on Discord a week ago, and it was this idea that when you conquer yourself, or when you conquer when you conquer yourself, discipline, and when you know yourself, you've conquered discipline. And I think that just kind of sums up a lot of what I have felt over the last several months, if not year, where I've led myself on this path of discipline for a long time now. Just, getting through school when I didn't really care much. Apologies if those sirens in the background can be heard. Because there was an end, right? After high school, there's college. After college, there's work. Oh, after this job, there's that job. And sometimes you do things enough and you realize, oh, maybe there's not an end to everything. My current job, it's like there's no real end to it. I'm going to learn a lot and, I like it. But it's not what I want to do with my life. And just because of my personality, I guess, I do a lot of different things. And I guess people who know me know this. And my friends know that I need to chill out, and they try to help me get outside. Well, not literally, but just get out of my little hermit hole. Be social and all that. I already forgot how to guide him. There we go. And one of those things that I've gravitated to is jujitsu. And I've spoken about that previously on this show. And the jujitsu is not going to be the whole thing I talk about. I'm going to be talking about jujitsu and the difference between giving it up and letting it go. as well as my beginning of a computational linguistics master's degree and giving it up and letting it go, and YouTube, and my job as a software engineer, and art, taking these art classes that I'm doing. I had, oh, was that a burp, a fart, or a scream? Oh, there's another one. Now, I was at a competition this past weekend. It is Sunday, so I mean by past weekend, this weekend, and by this weekend I mean yesterday. Gotta love the OG white paint and video game design. And objectively, I didn't do well. I'm a blue belt, intermediate. I've been training for about 3 years or so. Hey, little guy, you're okay. And I've medaled in blue belt before. I've medaled in intermediate before, and that's cool. But as the old saying that I like goes, you don't learn anything by winning. Winning is nice and all. I think, winning a competition shows me that I've learned and made progress, but there's no lessons in winning. Which is why success is built off of a bunch of failures. But anyway, these scenes are kind of cute, actually, of taming these things. We're gonna have to name this one. We'll name you Confidence. You know what I mean? Okay. And can I bring you, or do I have to? I have to push him. I guess that kind of makes sense. This is a perfect fractured thinking game, I'm not gonna lie. And at this competition, so I won 2 of my 4 gi matches, 1 of my 4 no gi matches. And I would say, pretty confident going in. Because I think, again, I have learned, and in these matches, in the past competitions I've had where I don't feel so good, it's because I haven't been able to push myself in some ways. I would get all, for lack of better word, apathetic and not want to effectively put an effort. Imagine you're going for a run and you just kind of walk and you're like, I just don't want to run. There's no, we'll call it a protagonistic force saying I need to run because, I guess there is, but there's that, I guess, but there's no antagonistic force either. And to me, that is very important. Now, at least. Another one, we'll call you antagonistic. Antagonistic. Sure, dude. And I'm trying to provide enough context to get this whole decision thing. But the point is, I've done several, I would say, not a handful, not so many, but several competitions now. And as I've spoken about in the past, I'm just not competitive. Now, of course, there's an arrow pointing to the left, but we have to explore right. Oh, we've been here. And so it begs this question of like, well, why are you doing this? I'm in software engineering and I'm paid well, and despite the industry and its current, absolute hellscape of employment and employment in general and so many things, but this isn't a politics show. Why do I do this? I think that's, there's this, like, we've got all of our basic needs met. I don't have a need, there's no end goal for me. In high school, it was to get to college to work, job I didn't like to job I do like. And, if you gave me $1 million today, I'd be like, I would probably still work. Like, I need something to do. And so it just begs this question of why. I don't have a family or dependents I need to support or anything. I love this art style, by the way. Also, are we going from city to woodland? This is great. And so the thing with the competition yesterday, and if you're curious more about my competition mentality, check I think it's called like On Competitive Spirit or something. But it really made me think to myself, why am I doing this? Right? And again, why am I doing this? What's in it for me? It's this instrument, this thing I can use to learn more about myself. And so is art. And I've been taking some art classes for the last year and really struggling with those too. With, there's a lot of procrastination with that. And it's like, again, I want to be good at this, and yet sitting down and just doing it's the hardest part. And for me, there are no stakes. And that's a whole other thing. This is not about stakes. This is about stakes. My first note for today has the word stakes in it. The thing is, when I was self-disciplined, or I should say leaning on self-discipline, I had to make a plan, and I stuck to that plan. Because when I stuck to that plan, we were good. We got a certain grade, we had achieved a certain goal with the project, whatever it might be. If I was someone who wanted to go for a nuclear family, right? I wanted to marry someone, have kids, and settle down. That's one thing, but I'm not. And I've known that about myself. Or at least I figured that out about myself. And there isn't an end goal for me anymore. There is no what's next for me. If I win the lottery, that's not... okay, I could travel the world. I'm going to get bored of that, which is so stupid to say. But there's nothing sustaining and lasting there, right? I want to leave something behind. There are things I know. And so when I look at these things like jiu-jitsu and art classes, I'm like, okay, this is beautiful, by the way. What? Whoa, Sanic. Why am I sticking with them, right? We come back to this question over and over again. And the thing is, I didn't decide I'm going to do jiu-jitsu competitions. I didn't decide I'm going to get really good at art and take art classes as a result. I did a jiu-jitsu competition because I was curious. I lost, and I wanted to do it again, and I got hooked on a feeling, ba-da-da-da. And the art classes I took because that was my literal only option of what I could curiously explore without fear of reprimand. And so those things weren't decisions, they were things I stumbled into. And what's nice is that they were things that I get a lot out of. Jiu-jitsu is healthy for the body and the mind and the soul, for me at least. I did some Spartan races, but I chose to let go of that. And I don't do them anymore. Bro, to just go out in the woods and make tree sculpture. Oh, that's not a sculpture. When I was doing a master's degree at UW. Oh, stampede? Why do I want to stampede? This is pretty sick, though. Okay. And... oh, I only have 3. Okay, this is interesting. Well, there's a tractor there. Can I run into the tractor? Go, my friends. Go, my calicorns. I want... effectively, what I'm trying to get around to, and what I have spent... how long now? How long is this? We're 15 minutes in. Are you kidding me? Good job, Mark. You took so long to get to the point. I realized that I need to make a decision. It's either art or jiu-jitsu. Now, I want to make a game. I want to do my job. I want to get better at these things. I want to be a good artist. I want to compete in jiu-jitsu. And there's all these things that are around, but the thing is, you can't do all of them at once. And I believe that I can do all of them, and I will. What's good to know, though, is that because I'm someone who doesn't know what he wants to do, really. I've never really known, and I've only gotten this far because I have tried so many different things. There's giving up and there's letting go, right? I think what I realized last week is that giving up is when you've stopped doing something and you look back and you miss it. Or you look at other people who do that and you think, damn, should have continued. That's me with art. I feel like I gave up on art so many times, and if I stop again, I'll be giving up on it. Different story. My master's degree that I started at University of Washington, I let it go. I could have kept going, and I knew in the moment, hey, I would rather be working on a game than doing this problem set. That was something I knew, accepted, and said, okay, I'm gonna finish out this quarter, this one class that I'm taking, and we're done. We're good. Spartan races are another example where after like a handful of them, I was like, this is kind of boring. And a lot of people buy into them, and I think that's awesome. For me, it's just the same course over and over again. And unless I'm doing them with friends, which I just couldn't convince any to do. I think one friend finally bit, but at that point I was like, I don't want to spend $200 running a course I've run 3 times. And I don't miss that. Training for that first race was an incredible experience for me, and I let it go, and I don't miss it, and therefore I consider I let it go, right? You only know if you let go of something or give up when it's in the aftermath. And what this competition yesterday made me realize is that I'm not able to let go of jiu-jitsu, and I'm not able to let go of art. But I do need to make a decision. Which one am I going to give my effort to? Right now, I go to jiu-jitsu about 5 times a week, which some might say is a lot. I think a sane schedule for any physical exercise is 2 to 3 days a week. Like if you run 2-3 miles 2 to 3 days a week, I think that's great. If you walk every day for an hour, amazing. Please don't take this in a way of like comparison. However, I will run to class, do 2 hours of jiu-jitsu, and then take the bus back. And that 4 days a week, the 5th day I always take the bus. And that to me is my new baseline. Hopefully this music isn't too loud. I'll have to make sure to remember to meter it. Note to myself, meter the audio. I love this world. We do move a little slow, but this is why it's a perfect fractured thinking game. So anyway, I've been like, okay, do I need to create stakes around drawing? Like, why am I drawing? Do I need to create stakes around jiu-jitsu? Why am I competing? I'm not trying to become the world's best by any means. I don't have interest in taking this to such a degree where I also go into MMA and whatever. I don't want to tear my LCL just in the process of learning how to heel hook. There's so much to explore in jiu-jitsu. And this is, I think, just what I've been gravitating to. And I know that my, general life thesis is like, does this help people? Does this contribute to people? My goal is to contribute on an individual level. That's just multiplied by a big number. Now, when it comes to making a decision, when I was, leaning on self-discipline, plow. What's plow? Do I have to plow this? Am I plowing the fields? Am I plowing your mom? Got him. Sorry, that was inappropriate. I think I need to make a decision and say, I am going to commit to jiu-jitsu, I'm going to commit to art. Because they have lived at odds with each other. Now, here's the thing. I don't have to give up art. I think I could do audit classes, have a guide to draw. I had solo artist curriculum, put in an hour a day, and we're good. And then jiu-jitsu, we're going twice a day, a couple days a week. The bus is pretty easy. We'll run as much as in effect, my body can take, because running to class took a while to work up to. But I can't. I have enough time in my day. Let's just put it that way, where before work and after work and in the afternoon, I have the time to spend a few hours on each thing. And what has bothered me the most is that I don't have the energy to do it. I don't have the mental fortitude yet. I need to build up to that, and I need to do it slowly and consistently. Which I hate. I hate the slowness part of it, but it's effective. Anyway. So this competition made me realize, like, if I'm going to keep doing this, I need to decide to do it. I think I really need to commit to this. And some might say, wow, you're really committed to this, but it's not enough. In my head, I'm half-assing it. Oh, wow, you're taking like 2 art classes or 1 to 2 art classes every quarter. And I'll do the minimum asked homework, and I still don't think it's enough. And I procrastinated. And the thing is, jiu-jitsu is great because you just show up and you do. You make the decision to show up, and that's it. It's game. Well, I don't know why I feel like the game is telling me to slow down because there's an enemy nearby, but what do I know? I also love the train tracks guiding us, but it actually fits in the world. Like, it makes sense why it's here. I don't understand plow. Anyway. So, to continue, I thought this was going to be a way more cohesive fractured thinking. But I think ultimately there's something here that I wanted to get out of. Because what I told myself, and this is in line with my current, spiritual beliefs and spiritual view on the world, which I won't go too deeply into, but I'm at a crossroads at the moment. I've been just going down this road, multiple roads, multiple paths. And let's get you going this way so I can open the door. And all of a sudden I'm at a crossroads where I have to make a choice. Maybe a fork in the road. And there's 3 paths here, right? And let me just kind of reiterate. I've done a lot of different things. And those that I cling on to and hold on to are the only indicators I have of I want to do this. And the thing is, I used to believe that, it's raining. What is this, Seattle? It's actually super nice out today. I want to believe, what is this? Oh, maybe they eat these. I want to believe that there's one thing in life that everyone has a purpose for, but there isn't. I'm done hoping for that, wishing to find that passion, right? I'm not a passionate person. I'd love to say that I am, but I'm just not. Can I feed them to you? Here you go, my fellow. Oh, yeah, I can. Let's go. Nom, 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 nom. I'm going to feed all of you. All y'all. But I don't see myself as a passionate person. Driven, maybe, but if anything, it's a sense of restlessness. That I just, I watch too much TV, or I watch too much YouTube, or I eat too much, and I get restless. And I go, this isn't how I want to live. But the thing is, I haven't made any decisions on how I want to spend my time. I've made these plans before, these super in-depth plans. And if you've watched any of my past devlogs or videos where I have projects, you've seen this. And then I don't follow them because I don't make a decision. And the thing is, at this point where I'm at right now, we're going to go on to the left. The plan has to follow the decision, and the plan will follow the decision. If I tell myself, okay, I'm going to go to jiu-jitsu 8 times a week on the weekdays, in other words, morning and evening classes, that's just a plan. And I don't want to keep living by a discipline. Obviously, it has its place and it has its importance, and I'm a very big discipline fan. But I don't want to constantly live like that. And so I can't follow a plan if I don't decide. And so there's these 3 pathways, right? There's pathway 1, which I want to go down, but I've tried to go down it before, and it hasn't worked. Do both of them. Sacrifice something, and this something could be, I genuinely believe this, mental sanity. It could be social relationships. It could be a lot of different things. But I can't do that right now. And if I do that, it's going to lead me to crash again. And so I have path 1. Have a regular sane person jiu-jitsu schedule. And have a regular sane person physical health. And I say regular person physical health because I have very good cardio. And I'm very physically fit at the moment. I am likely in the best physical condition I will ever be in my life. And I value that in myself. And so it's like, and effectively calm down and do art classes seriously. At the cost of not being, as physically fit or, at the cost of not doing jiu-jitsu competitions. Which is a fully acceptable cost. It's not like I'm sacrificing my entire life goal, right? If I knew deep down, and someone at my gym, is this person of like, I will become the world's best. Like, I'm not trying to do that. I don't believe I would ever be able to accomplish that. And so I'm not really sacrificing that much. But it will feel bad because I am giving up at a very serious level of competition. The other path is the inverse. And so what am I giving that up for? Art. Take art classes seriously. Do them a lot in large quantities. Max out homework. And increase my skill in a relatively short time frame. I've seen myself do it before with other things, and I'm now confident I can do it again in various places. Wow, I wonder where the wood is. I can't blame the game designers because I feel like this is not the kind of game where you're just searching forever, right? Now, the alternative is the inverse. Stop taking full seat art classes. And do hella jiu-jitsu. Keep competing. Does this mean at least 2 calicorns? It's an interesting design bit. Oh. Whoa, are you good? Hello? Look, let me get you some food. Let me get you some food, my guy. You look like me. Anyway. And I think, okay, so yeah. Put aside the art classes. I'm auditing a wildlife sketching class. Maybe I'll try to draw one of these bad boys. Haha. And it's so nice to sit there and not feel like it's the most serious thing in the world. And that's another problem, I think, especially with art, where I am taking it so seriously. And despairs. Sure. And that has been to my detriment because then I want to put forward my best work and yada yada yada. I'm just searching for the other calicorn if you're watching and wondering what the heck I'm doing. Now, and I'm a jack of all trades. I fully believe that. Blah blah blah. So I don't think I'm ever gonna master one thing. And the beautiful thing is, I'm gonna find myself at this crossroads again. One of 3 things is going to happen. There's only really 3 possibilities, right? I do art, and then I realize this shit sucks. I miss jiu-jitsu. And you know what I do? I go back to jiu-jitsu. Hey, it's okay, little guy. It's okay. Hey there. You're okay. Have a snack. I'm not getting a prompt. Or, you know, I do jujitsu and I'm like, dang, I actually really want to do art because I keep seeing people draw and I envy them. And it's not that I envy their ability or their journey, but I envy where I could be if I put in that kind of effort. And so I switch. Are you scared of me? Oh, maybe I need another calicorn with me. Or I do one and I attain some sort of level that I need. Something where I, you know, let's just say in art, you know, I'm not trying to be a world famous artist. I want to just tell my stories. And so the only call that I need to make is there will reach a time when, well, honestly, I don't think I'll ever think I'm good at art. Art, like jiu-jitsu, which I believe is why I am very attracted to these things, is inherently a lifetime activity. There is no end. And I like that. You know, no, I don't think at least. There are people who are results focused. And that's okay. I used to be one of those people. I am one of those people. I'm trying to let it go. That's my biggest fault, I think. You know, a relationship is only because you should want a lifetime partner, or, you know, drawing is only because you want to make a painting, but that's not it. You got to enjoy the process. And so I'm not motivated by money. I don't want to write a book, get famous, because no matter how big the paycheck or how big the audience, I still got to come home and do my laundry. And I'm lucky where, Flucky. Ooh, that's a little too sus. Nope. Flukinos. Sure. I'm great at coming up with names. Where, like, I kind of hit that pinnacle of the software engineering career, and I realized, oh, I don't care. I worked for big tech, and I have no drive to climb the ladder, right? That's effectively what I'm getting at. I'm not some great 10x engineer, but that career, I hit the top and I realized it doesn't matter to me. I want to work on something interesting to me and that has a user impact and influence. And here I am. Nonetheless, both things, art and jiu-jitsu, are you okay? Will teach me something about myself. There is no going wrong with these decisions. It will be hard to let go of one and not the other. And it will be hard to not feel like I'm giving up. But I think that this decision will ultimately be really good for me in general, because I hate feeling like I'm half-assing two things. I hate walking out of this competition and thinking, man, did I do anything? Like, I'm just not putting in my max. And then I go home and I look at the homework I submitted for an art class I have the next day and I think, dang, I didn't really put my all into this. I don't really care about the feedback because I already know where I would need to put more work in. And so I guess, you know, this was all exploding in my head yesterday and I just want to talk about it for a little bit. But at the end of the day, I just need to make a decision on one of these things. And I need to accept that I can come back to it. It's not permanent. Life is short, but not so short that I have to commit to one thing now. And I, compared to where I was 4 years ago, am so lucky that I'm realizing there are things that I am actually drawn to, that I do have aptitudes for things. So what are the signs that I was talking about at the beginning to know that you're doing the right thing? I lied. It's the wrong question. There are no signs that you're doing the right thing, but there are plenty of signs that you're doing the wrong thing. The signs that you're on the right path, that you're making the right decision. Are they all gonna follow me? No, this is bizarre. Oh, they don't like the rain. Okay, well, how about you come over and rest up here, bud? Oh, I have to sit on this rug, probably. Yeah. Call Calicorns. Oh, we're just gonna sit by the fire and I'm gonna wrap this up. This is beautiful. I love this game. Perfect fractured thinking game. Perfect. Now, each one also kind of feels like art feels like a distraction from jiu-jitsu, and jiu-jitsu is a distraction from art, which is part of why I'm like, I don't know what decision I'm gonna make yet, but I know that I need to make the decision and commit to it. And what's cool is that each one has its own ending, right? Brown belt, for example, would be a jiu-jitsu of like, let's reevaluate here. And with art, it's like make a comic or something, you know, have a project or finish, in my case, finish solo artist curriculum. Honestly, because of the competition and how that made me feel and how this current art class is making me feel, and I realize I need to explore art for my own self, I'm pretty sure the jiu-jitsu is going to win this decision. But I don't know which one's right. I don't know which one's going to be the best, right? All that really matters is that I make a decision and the plan will follow. Best case scenario, I learn about myself and it pushes me to the next level in some discipline. Worst case scenario, I've just found another thing that I don't want to do. I studied my ass off and I got into a big tech company and realized that isn't it for me. I've worked on certain programming projects and I realized that isn't it for me. I made certain YouTube videos and I realized that isn't it for me. And on and on and on and on. I've lived in places and that isn't it for me. And blah, 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 blah. And I don't have a calling. I'm waiting for the day that I get to hear the bells. And right now, I think I'm hearing them. I don't know where they're coming from. But there's at this crossroads, I need to make a decision which path I'm going to take primarily. And I know, for myself, I'm good at making plans, man. I'm good at that shit. But making a plan before the decision is absolutely bloody pointless. I need to make the call because the decision precedes the confidence. And I think I will also learn to become upset at losing in jiu-jitsu competitions. Or I will learn to become upset when I don't do art homework if I have decided to do that thing. But I constantly have this fallback. Oh, I'm an amateur artist. It's okay I didn't do the homework. Oh, I'm not trying to be world's number one. Like, it's okay that I didn't fully succeed in this competition. That's not okay. That my restlessness is fighting my apathy, my impatience, and I want to be patient. Impatience is a bad word. My restlessness is fighting my grayness. Finally, right? Finally. And so I don't know. I just want to talk about this decision for me that, you know, it's a big thing because it's like, what do I want to spend 20 hours of my week doing? That's not an exaggeration, by the way. It would rival, you know, it would rival that because that's how I want to live my life. Certainly wasn't doing problem sets for school. It certainly wasn't training for Spartan races. It certainly wasn't learning Japanese, even though that one I was like, I gave up. And I'll come back to it one day. Yeah, that's all. Thanks so much for watching and or listening. If you have any questions, mobkinz@proton.me, or leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear it. You know, especially if you listen to the whole thing. I feel like maybe I'll cut out some of the start because it took me a little while to find my rhythm as it usually does. But also, I'm just here to be here. So have a good one. And as always, don't forget to stay awesome. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.